You already know potatoes are a carb, but what if the problem was never the potato? It was how you were eating it. 3 days in your fridge changes the structure of this food at a molecular level. Not a little, measurably, scientifically. The same potato that would spike your blood sugar and trigger an insulin flood does not anymore. Not after your fridge gets into it. One study found that a potato salad made with a vinegar dressing reduced how fast your blood sugar rises by 41%, and insulin response dropped by 31%. This is not a low carb trick. The carb count does not change. What changes is what your body does with those carbs. And that difference is what 6 peer-reviewed clinical trials have been quietly documenting. There are 3 things working together in this one dish: cooled starch, acid, healthy fat. Each one independently slows down how fast your body processes what you just ate. I'm going to show you exactly how this works, why most people eating potatoes are skipping the one step that matters most, and how to make the potato salad sitting in my fridge right now. Stay with me. Here's what the internet has been telling you about potatoes. Avoid them. They are a carb. Carbs spike insulin. Done. And here's what the internet has been telling you about resistant starch. Eat green bananas. Cool your rice. Your potato salad is basically a health food now. Both of those are oversimplifications, and one of them is actually doing you a disservice. The people telling you potatoes are off limits are not wrong about the mechanism. A hot potato does spike blood sugar. That part's true. But they stop the science halfway through. And the people telling you that cooling your food unlocks some magic resistant starch superpower, they're leaving out the part that actually determines whether any of this works. Stay with me. Because there are 3 things happening in this one dish. Most content only talks about one. Let's start with what your fridge is actually doing to this potato. When you bake a potato, the heat causes the starch inside to absorb water and swell. That structure's easy for your digestive enzymes to break down. Fast digestion. Blood sugar rises quickly, insulin spikes. Now here's the part almost nobody explains correctly. When that cooked potato cools and stays cold, the starch does not just sit there waiting. It physically restructures. The molecules reorganize into a new crystalline form. Scientists call this retrogradation. And in that new form, your digestive enzymes cannot break it down the same way. So it passes through to your small intestine intact. It reaches your colon, and that's where something remarkable happens. Before I tell you what happens in the colon, I want to show you something about this dressing. Because most people making potato salad think the dressing is just flavor. It is not. This dressing has 2 ingredients that are independently doing something to how your body processes those potatoes. First, apple cider vinegar. Acid slows the activity of the digestive enzymes that break down starch. One study actually found that a vinegar-dressed potato salad reduced the glycemic index by 41% and cut insulin response by 31%. Avocado oil mayo. Fat consumed alongside carbohydrates slows gastric emptying. Your stomach holds on to the food longer. Glucose enters the bloodstream more slowly. The spike flattens. Now back to the colon. Your gut bacteria ferment the resistant starch that made it through. They produce something called short chain fatty acids. Those trigger GLP-1 mechanisms working at the same time in one bowl of potato salad. Not one, 3. This is the Trojan horse. You're looking at a potato salad. It looks like a side dish. It reads like comfort food. Most people eating low carb would walk right past it. But inside it is a precisely constructed food that's doing something very different to your gut. your blood sugar curve, and your body fat than a hot potato ever could. The problem was never the potato. The problem was how you were eating it. In 6 peer-reviewed clinical trials published in journals including Cell Metabolism and Nature Metabolism, have documented exactly what resistant starch does to visceral fat, liver fat, and insulin resistance in actual human beings. Every decision in this recipe has a reason. Start with the potato. I used Yukon Gold, not because it has more resistant starch than other varieties. The research tells us variety matters less than preparation. I used it because the thin skin holds up when cubed cold, and the texture stays firm after 3 days in the refrigerator. I baked them, not boiled them. That choice matters. Studies comparing baked versus boiled potatoes found that baking produces more resistant starch after cooling. Ninja Crispi, 400 degrees, no oil, fork pierced, about 40 minutes. It's dry heat with the skin on. Then, and this is the step that separates this dish from a regular potato salad, I cooled them for 3 days, not overnight, 3 days. Resistant starch increases progressively the longer the potato stays cold. The retrogradation keeps building. 3 days gives you significantly more than 24 hours. Most recipes say refrigerate until cold, about 4 hours. That's not the same thing. One thing you must never do with this salad: do not reheat it. The moment you add heat, the structure is reversed. The resistant starch converts back. The whole point of the 3-day chill disappears. This dish is cold, always cold. That's not a preference, that is the mechanism. Assembly is straightforward. Fold in 1 diced celery stalk, 2 to 3 tablespoons finely diced red onion, 1 chopped hard-boiled egg. Season with salt, pepper, fresh dill or chives. Chill the assembled salad for at least 30 minutes before serving. This is a small batch recipe, serves 2 to 4. The full recipe's in the description. So what have we actually built? The same carb count as any other potato salad. The label does not change, but the number does not move. But the food is doing something different because the potatoes were baked in the Ninja Crispi, and by the way, the link is in the description for that, where you can compare the prices. So since the potatoes were baked and chilled for 3 days, a meaningful portion of that starch now bypasses rapid digestion entirely. It feeds your gut bacteria instead of spiking your blood sugar. The vinegar in the dressing cut the glycemic index by 41% in a peer-reviewed study. Not by removing carbs, but by slowing the enzymes that break them down. The fat in the mayo slows gastric emptying, stretching the time your body spends processing the meal and flattening the glucose curve. 3 mechanisms, 1 bowl. A potato salad that's doing something the internet told you was impossible. That's what I mean when I say the problem was never the potato. The problem was how you were eating it. And now you know how to eat it differently. The full recipe's in the description. Every ingredient, every step, including the 3-day chill that makes this work. If this is the kind of content that you're looking for, evidence-based, no oversimplification, no agenda beyond getting the science right, subscribe. I investigate the ingredients like an attorney investigates evidence, not the trends. We'll see you in the next one.